Not live, pal. How about that? Welcome to another edition of Clean and here we are. We are talking about WrestleMania. WrestleMania is upon us. A two-night spectacle now, instead of the one night that we've had for many of years. You know, it's a good thing now. Being able to, I think, break it down into two nights. I mean, first of all, you get two nights of wrestling, which us diehard wrestling fans will definitely like. And it's better for the newer kids, right? A 40 something year old here now. I could sit through wrestling 10 hours straight. A lot of the new generation, can't do that. And everything you could see, everything's in bits and clips and very allotted short times. Nothing is made for long, for long viewing. So this is good. It keeps everyone engaged. I think having it for 2 nights, and you get double the admission, right? So it's a win-win situation for everyone involved. I'm going to go over some of my predictions and my thoughts on the card here. Going to try to make it very brief and just go through it quickly. The first matchup that I would want to talk about would be Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Now we have seen many of incarnations of Becky Lynch. Whether it was face or heel, then face, then heel again, numerous of times, right? Where it's almost to the point like and I think they finally got it right. Where Becky is a face. She's kind of done that that big show that big show turnaround face heel numerous of times, right? So we're finally at where Becky is a face here. The man has come around, going up against wrestling's hottest, I think, female in Rhea Ripley. Um, it's crazy, right? Rhea Ripley kind of gets the reactions almost like as of a face when Dominic Mysterio is not around her. But when Dom Mysterio is there, all the boos are flowing. And Rhea Ripley really hasn't had any much of physical threat. I think the one credible threat that she had was Nia Jax, and she did beat Nia Jax. So did Becky Lynch, which was a big obstacle for Becky Lynch. At first, she was not able to beat Nia Jax. Then she beat Nia Jax, kind of getting over that hurdle. I guess to kind of make her, I guess, even with Becky Lynch, I guess, in a way, in the fans' eyes. But I just think Rhea Ripley is on a whole nother level. I wish there would have been a little bit more time to develop this story, I guess. But when you have Rock, Roman, Seth, and Cody, that's kind of where the majority of the time goes. They did do a pull apart. They did have Rhea Ripley just kind of insult Becky Lynch, bringing personal life into the fold here, and that's when you bring personal life. It makes it more real. They had a pull apart. Things got a little heated recently, very recently. I wish they would have kind of done that a little bit sooner. That's just me anyway. Um, but I think this story is something that has the potential to be even greater than what it is now. Therefore, I still think it will continue. It will continue after WrestleMania, and I know WrestleMania is kind of has to be, or at least they say that's the end all, kind of the final, hurrah, and then it's like a new season in a sense, right? But I think this story will go into SummerSlam. I think that Rhea Ripley will defeat Becky Lynch, and you're kind of going to have the trials and tribulations of Becky Lynch after this match, where she's going to go through many highs and lows, and almost in a sense where she loses her mind. And I think it's going to be a good story if they could tell it correctly, and if they give it time. I think that Becky Lynch will lose, and I think Rhea Ripley will win this match. The the six the 6 team tag there, where you have um, Truth and Miz versus DIY um, versus New Day versus Catch Republic versus Judgment Day versus the team down under there with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I like Austin Theory and I like Grayson Waller. I like them. They're very antagonistic. Um, it would be one of the teams that I would choose to win. Now, they made this very specific in the WWE that both sets of titles have to be, the both sets of titles are on the line separately. So, one team could grab one set of titles, and then it could very happen that another team grabs another set of titles, and you have 2 separate champions. So they're looking to separate the titles. I think this is the end of the Judgment Day as tag team champions. I think they have bigger plans for Damian Priest. I think Finn Balor, where he is, they like him in a tag team. I think Finn Balor and Andrade will form a tag team. Finn Balor has said, like on these little skits backstage, that he likes that cat. He remembers that cat. He likes him. I could see them forming a championship, a tag team after Mania. So I don't think that they will win. DIY, they're not. They're trying. But, as you can see, NXT sometimes does not translate to the main roster as quickly. So I think it's not the right time for them now. With this Regeneration X, they're on the right path. They're on the right path, right? And it could be something. Then you have a tag team like New Catch Republic. I think they're too young, too newly formed. I don't think it will happen. We're looking at. I think it's going to be just to continue that historic run, put another number in front of it. I think it'll be New Day because they haven't won anything really recently. Haven't been doing anything really recently. They're good merchandise sellers. You're going to have New Day, and for nostalgic purposes, you're going to have, on the Raw side, you're going to have R-Truth and Mike The Miz pick up the championship. 4, Damage Control versus Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair versus Naomi. The Jade Cargill surprise that she has made her way into this whole scenario here, and they made her look. She finally debuted, right? They made her look good. She manhandled Damage Control. It has taken quite some time, I think, for people to get used to Damage Control. If we're being honest with each other, I personally was not the biggest fan of Damage Control. Um, but I could see that they've slowly kind of worked their way into um, kind of into where they need to be, where it's, for lack of a better word, where it's not. To be honest, for me, it was click through television there for a period of time with Damage Control, but they've uh, they've definitely kind of landed on their footing, on their feet, so to speak, and they've kind of found their niche here. Um, that being said, I just keep on going back to you know Jade Cargill and how she just dominated. How she just dominated, and that's what I see. I don't think this will be a long match. I think this will be a quick match where they're not gonna make Jade Cargill look vulnerable at all. She's gonna look like $1 million. Gonna be a short match. Jade Cargill dominates. Um, helps the faces and Bianca and Naomi win very quickly. So give it to Jade Cargill and the faces there to win that match. Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. This kind of match, I don't know, a little bit out of nowhere for me in this match. I mean, you see the frustration, or you see the constant back and forth between the LWO and La Fantasma. So I thought it would have went that way, but instead it kind of it went into a tag match, and Dominic Mysterio just kind of inserts himself here into his father's business again, and he's now tag teams with Santos. And I know they have the Phantasma guys kind of just, I don't know why. I don't know why you had like 6-man tag team matches for the longest period of time on SmackDown. You thought that would have led to that Mania match, but no, it leads into a tag match, right? I guess here we are. So you have Dominic Mysterio once again against Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. Right, Santos Escobar, he was kind of, they started him off hot, I'd want to say, and then it's kind of cooled down, right? And Dominic Mysterio, well, he's been doing his thing, still constantly gets boos, so he's getting a reaction, can hardly say what he needs to say on the mic. So, Dominic just doing what Dominic does, and he's crushing it, and Dirty Dom. And, Rey Mysterio, the Hall of Famer here, Dragon Lee, really kind of still trying to find his footing. I think this is an opportunity where Rey Mysterio finds it another way to kind of go at it with his son, because those days, I'm sure, are numbered in a way. So he gets to tie up with his son, which I'm sure he's looking forward to. And Santos Escobar kind of needs to, I think, just kind of find his way back again, kind of be on the minds of a lot of people. He was in the beginning, and then it just kind of, I don't know, it didn't translate. It just kind of wandered off the path with Santos Escobar. So I do think that Santos Escobar, who needs this win, will win. Dominic Mysterio once again will get put over by Daddy Dukes, because that's what Daddy Dukes does for Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, the spoiled brat, as we know. So I think it will be Santos and Dominic Mysterio winning the card. The next match here that I would want to go over is Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, man, I don't think a lot of people expected. I don't think that a lot of people expected Sami Zayn to be in this matchup with Gunther. They kind of, they kind of were really kind of building up, I think, Chad Gable to be in the spot. And Chad Gable was almost there in this gauntlet match to be facing against Gunther. He was almost there. And in the last match, you had Gable rather versus Sami Zayn. A very controversial ending to the match, and Sami Zayn wins. It was so controversial that you thought that maybe Chad Gable would have brought something up to, let's say, an Adam Pearce. Like, hey, listen, this should not have counted as a victory. It was never brought up on TV. It was brought up for whatever reason. And here's Sami Zayn, who was just on this losing streak, now playing the underdog. And, Chad Gable, even though he was frustrated, he offered to help Sami Zayn. And he's coaching him, kind of like the Rocky moment, always the consummate underdog going into WrestleMania now. And, the last thing that we've seen prior to making this video is Gunther just beating the absolute dog crap out of Sami Zayn there on the ramp. And Sami Zayn just gets up after that beating to the shock and dismay of Gunther. But then Gunther takes his title and just knocks him down again, and Sami Zayn does not get up, or at least I didn't see him get up. Gunther is very believable in his whole presentation here in the WWE. Everything about him is almost flawless. Everything is with purpose, with meaning in his presentation. And I just, and you wonder, you think to yourself, who could beat Gunther? Do you have any faith in Sami Zayn? It's going to be a beatdown. Sami Zayn is going to be beat down. And Chad Gable might even be in the corner. And it's going to be to a point of the match there where it's Sami Zayn has finally, after being beat down, finally has come back to Gunther. And it's just one shot to Gunther that catches Gunther off guard, and he's down. One, two. Here comes Chad Gable. Attack Sami Zayn. You're nothing, Sammy. You don't have the fortitude to beat Gunther. Look at you. You've been being beat the whole night. The whole night. I could have done better than you. And you know what? You didn't even beat me fairly. You didn't beat me properly. That should not have been a pin. I deserve this WrestleMania match. I should have been here. Long story short, Gunther retains the title. You're going to see a three-way dance, I think, between these three: Gable, Sami Zayn, and Gunther at SummerSlam. Next match, as we're rolling along here, Jimmy Uso versus Jay Uso. Yeet versus no yeet, right? Yeet versus no yeet. Yeet, you kind of you have your kind of your when you think about these guys, when you think about Jay Uso, you think if they, like for example, like you think Seth Rollins um without the song, how over would Seth Rollins be, right? If you took out the yeah and if you took out the yeah from LA Knight, what would LA Knight be, right? But I think if you took out the yeet from Jey Uso, wouldn't matter. This still would still be popping the audience, the crowd, um, no matter what. In Jey Uso main event, Jey Uso. Remember, this whole storyline originally with the bloodline was predicated. How about that for a word? Predicated around Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. That's what it was last year, right? And Jey Uso split, from the bloodline, and he split from arguably one of the best tag teams in the Usos. And the Usos have always said on interviews that this is a matchup against each other that they always wanted to partake in. And just when you look at that, you kind of are interested to see in where this story will go. This story has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. It just wasn't, I don't think, given as much time as it could have to kind of further develop it. Because I think these two are, um, they could, if you give them the ball, they definitely could run with it. You've seen Jey Uso run with it prior as well. So you know what they're capable of. I think this match has potential to steal the show. And you almost kind of had that built-in storyline in there. Not to mention that built-in storyline of brother versus brother, that rivalry, right? Not to mention the fact that Jimmy has been constantly um, screwing Jay's opportunity to win matches, win gold here. Again, this match I think will be one of the matches that steals the show. The built-in story to know each other well as you could know anybody. and I think they're good storytellers in the ring, and they could bring you on uh, these highs and lows. I think it's going to be a match that will end in some type of interference, some type of clusterfuck, which is bound to happen. Um, and I think the story is, you know, kind of far from over, I guess, for lack of a better word. I think there's more to this story. Um, Solo Sokola, where are you? I feel there's definitely going to be some type of interference there. Give this victory to, even with the interference, I think give this victory to Jay Uso. I don't know how confident I feel with this, but give this to Jay Uso. Hold on here for 1 second. Um, Talk amongst yourselves, ladies and gerbils. What you are? All right. Now, so back here, ladies and ooze. Rollins versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns in a matchup here where it will determine the how the main event the following night in Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, how that match will, what type of rules it will be. And I think I see it from a mile away here. I see it from a mile away. Um, Something will happen here, where and I just keep on. I just keep on saying this, and I don't know. I will go with it here. I've noticed little things here, and this will come into play night one. I've noticed in recent weeks that Seth Rollins has been a little, I don't know, a little bit flaky to me. Um, just really is, but it's he's trying too hard for me. And I know last week, listen, I know last week he was beat up bad by The Rock and Roman Reigns. Oh boy, was he ever beat up? He was beat up and whipped. That looked like it hurt. That looked like it hurt. Gotta revert to sometimes you have to take beating for the greater good of what's to come down the road. Like I remember back in TNA, Aces and Eights, Bully Ray, he was beaten down by Aces and Eights. But then what do we find out? That he is part of Aces and Eights. Cody, all of a sudden, Seth Rollins has a blonde streak in his hair. Kind of reminds me of the Shield days. Okay, you might say to yourself, "That is pretty silly. Pretty silly of you to think that has anything to do with anything." Hairstyle, haircut it is what it is. Okay, Roman Reigns mentions that they were once brothers, considered him like a brother in Seth Rollins, and then his brother turned on him. Cody Rhodes has beaten Seth Rollins. If you think about it, what is it, 3 times? Over and over and over again. He wanted Seth Rollins wanted Cody to face him for the championship. Cody said no. Seth Rollins asked again. Cody said no again. Over and over and over. And it seemed like it was over and over again. Like it was almost as if Cody was disrespecting Seth Rollins' title. Didn't you feel that way? And I know this is so long ago, and the story has developed significantly since then, but it still stays in the back of my mind. Still stays in the back of my mind. If Cody and Seth Rollins lose, the tag match against Brock and Roman, it will be bloodline rules. Continuous hard times for Cody Rhodes. And I think this is the major piece of the story that has never been fully, always been aside, and I think that's by design. You're made to think very early on, Rock kind of just pushed Seth Rollins away from the title, from this whole picture. Like, he's a clown. He dresses as a clown. Roman Reigns had Seth Rollins as the number 2 champion. The number 2. Like, he's just over there. He's a clown. And not much attention has been brought to Seth Rollins. For all these weeks, just a verbal bashing. Just a verbal bashing. Week in and week out against Cody Rhodes. Why not against Seth Rollins? Why? The question was asked by Roman Reigns. Can you trust Seth Rollins? Surprisingly, I think this match, for a very long period of the duration, and you kind of deliver here for the crowd something. This can't be, you're going to be going through various dips and dives here in this storyline. A lot of dips and dives in the storyline. Gotta give him something. And at the very end there, something happens where Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins are about to win, and it looks like it's a clear, decisive victory. And then Seth Rollins, decides to jump on the apron or interfere or does something where there is a distraction. The ref doesn't, he's not paying attention to what's going on in the ring. And then there's interference in the ring. Knocks out Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes gets pinned. Gets pinned by Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. People are wondering what happened. Was this on purpose by Seth Rollins? Unintentional? What happened? Why did Seth Rollins do what he do? What was the meaning of it? No, it certainly was a mistake. It certainly was a mistake. I don't know, Cole. I don't think that was a mistake. Cody and Seth are just looking at each other. And then comes to get in a heated discussion. Then comes the blood rest of the bloodline. Attack Cody. Seth Rollins kind of dips his way out. Thinks about attacking them. Dips his way out of the arena. Someone in the back. What happened out there? It was a mistake, Cody. Some interviewer in the back. It was a mistake, Cody. I didn't mean it. Why are you not trusting me now after all this time? And that's the end of night 1. Left to wonder what will happen. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns in Bloodline Rules. What will happen? Night 1. Night 2. Night 2. Oh, if we got it equally, just as good card for night 2. Bailey versus Io Sky. Bailey, and I have always said this about Bailey was on her way, I think. I mean, well, they built up Bailey, right? Where she was almost like, in a sense, the next John Cena for the females, right? With the Bailey funny guy. What is that? The stuff, the inflatable balloon there, hugs, and then they changed. They changed Bailey to a heel, and it was time. It was time for Bailey. It was time for something new. Io Sky, they make it look like, turned her back on Bailey. Bailey helped Io Sky, gave her protection, helped her on these winning streaks. She helped her become champion. Maybe Bailey wanted to become champion as well at that time, but she helped her friend Io Sky. She was there for Io Sky. What was it, during WrestleMania to win? And then, Io Sky brought in all her friends and no longer needed Bailey. And now, Bailey, all this time, that she was this kind of cut corners, this bad girl, she hasn't had any friends. and it's been hard. She's been taking her lumps, being constantly attacked and laughed at. And I think finally we're at a point now where Bailey is going to get her comeuppance. She's going to get her revenge. I think it will be Bailey that defeats Io Sky. The rest of Damage Control is just going to try to kind of um, beat Bailey. That's going to be to no avail. Bailey's going to conquer him and pin Io Sky very clean in the middle of the ring. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Yeah, kind of. This match on paper, I liked initially. Yes, buddy. Alrighty. This match I liked very. I liked it initially. Logan Paul, I think, is Logan Paul. I think is a guy that is very easy to hate. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. I think they've been close to blows numerous of times, and that that could be a problem in this match or even after this match. Remember, every person for themselves. I look at a guy like Logan Paul, and he's a guy that you just want to hate. But he does it so naturally, as if you want to hate him, right? If he ever did this, like if he wanted to do this full time, um, I think he could have a good like stable heel faction around him or with him. Um, Look, I think this is a match. I think um, that I think that they have bigger plans for Randy Orton. Now, I'm not saying that this is a step below him, but I think they have something more planned for Randy Orton. So I don't see him winning. Kevin Owens, uh, just his mannerisms in the ring make me crack up. But I think it's going to be Logan Paul just sneaking out another victory. With those bare brass knuckles. Um, I think he's going to pin Kevin Owens, and believe it or not, I think that Kevin Owens and Logan Paul continues on to SummerSlam. It could be has potential to be one of the better kind of long like feuds here until they're going to have a weapons on a pole match or something like that, right? Give me Logan Paul over Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. This match, I think, is very important for LA Knight, right? And I still think that they have a lot of other things planned for LA Knight, right? LA Knight is the guy that he has the he has that so he has some type of connection with the fans, right? I don't know if you were to take out the or the LA Knight, if there would be anything, I don't know how that would work if you were to take that out. Meaning, I think the WWE putting AJ Styles versus LA Knight. I think they are looking to layer up LA Knight. When I say layer up LA Knight, make him look, put layers, put a little bit more coating on LA Knight. He could talk, definitely he could. Cut a promo. Now, can he fight in the ring? I think that's as equally as important. They're giving him AJ Styles, one of the best around there. You know, AJ Styles was this high flyer. I remember from from TNA, and then when he came here to the WWE, he realized that it's not just about high flying, but it's more the story that you tell in the ring. So not only is he a good storyteller, but he is a good wrestler. I'm not saying in any way that LA Knight is not a good wrestler. He is. I remember him from TNA. I remember him from NWA. But I think he needs to show that, have that great match in WWE. See, I remember Elias, and I was a big Elias fan. Ezekiel, Elias. Man, that guy was on fire. Man, that guy was on fire. But with Elias, it's just, he never really seemed to have that great match. That was Elias's great match in the WWE. Now listen, I'm not a wrestler, I am just a fan. But I think having that type of a match is important, and how seeing something like that is important in how the company in WWE, the board and all the writers, and how they view you going forward once they see that high match, that type of a match. So I think it's important. I think it's important for LA Knight to have a great showing in the ring. We know that he could do it on the microphone, and I think that's what AJ Styles is going to help him to deliver. AJ Styles doesn't need this win. I see this win, and I see this helping LA Knight along the road here, further down the line. LA Knight with the victory over AJ Styles. We have, as we're close to wrapping this up here, we have to wrap this up here. We're approaching our minute here. The Pride versus the Final Testament. Listen, back and forth. I appreciate what they've done. With what they've done with the Final Testament, repackaging Carrying Cross, bringing back AOP. Repackaged is the Pride as well. I think it's going to be, they've had their back and forths on TV. I think it will be, and I think the Final Testament just needs this more than the Pride. Give this to the Final Testament. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. I see this kind of as a progression here, um, as a progression of the night to come. I think Drew McIntyre wins this over Seth Rollins. I think it's a pin, clean pin victory. As simple as that. Clean pin. Now I know you're gonna have I believe CM Punk on commentary. That's fine. It doesn't affect the match in the ring at all. CM Punk will not interfere. For weeks, Drew McIntyre has told Seth Rollins, Seth, you gotta pay attention to this match. Don't stick your nose into any other business. Keep it right here. Keep it in this matchup with me. I gave you every opportunity. Just pay attention. Seth Rollins, remember, is reeling from last night. Fans are doubting him. Did he cost Cody the match on purpose? And even after the loss, he says backstage, listen, I lost my title. The fans are doubting me. Cody Rhodes, I didn't do anything. It was an accident. Cody, please understand it was an accident. Fans are still just in dismay, no reaction. Some are booing, some are cheering. Which that would be a reaction, right? And that's where we leave off. Seth Rollins now versus, I'm sorry, Cody in this last matchup. Cody, and I have to do this in 8 minutes or less, 9 minutes. Cody versus Roman Reigns. Bloodline rules. Anything goes. Anything goes. It's a matchup where you have interference. Jey Uso. No, not Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso, I'm sorry. Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman throws in a chair. All to just kind of knock out The Rock. Knock him out. To knock him out. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. What's the point opening in a match where where Roman is getting frustrated, and then he yells at The Rock, visibly yelling at The Rock. The Rock is taken aback. Questions over later in the match. Roman Reigns yells again. As simple as that. He has enough. You're the tribal chief? He's thinking to his head, Roman Reigns. You're the tribal chief? Uh-uh. I'm the tribal chief. Rock bottom the Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes wins the championship. Out comes out comes Seth Rollins. He attacks He attacks Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins is now a heel. Rock is now a face. You remember? Rock then knocks out Seth Rollins. Here comes running Damian Priest. He's about to cash in on Cody Rhodes. Thinks better of it and leaves. Cliffhanger. Sets up the next match, I think. Or he still leaves it where he still with the briefcase, and I think that will be the next step. But he comes out there, plant the seeds that maybe he's going to go after Cody Rhodes. Then you have Roman Reigns getting up. He's lost the title. He looks at Rocky and he's like looking at him like, what have you done? And he slaps him, and The Rock just leaves. He just leaves. He does not have the strength, or he just does not want to attack him again. He realizes he just walked away. So it's where you're having a double turn with Seth now, and then Seth, remember, he slides back in the ring and he attacks The Rock. And Roman Reigns, they attack The Rock. Here comes Cody again. Again now. Tries to save everyone in this brawl. It's all out brawl. Tries to defend Rock after, The Rock, did what he did. And he feels betrayed by Seth. Then now out comes Damian Priest again, who's still on the outside there looking at what's happening. The fighting spills to the outside. He gets Cody in the ring. He gets a ref. He cashes in his briefcase. 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest is now your new world's champion. What happens in this match? It's a giant cluster. To sum it up, Rock turns face. Seth turns heel. Cody is the champion. Rock is still a heel at this point. And then after Cody comes back, there's another melee. Cody's trying to help everyone, trying to make it even. Damian Priest gets Cody in the middle of the ring by himself, grabs the ref who's still out there trying to break up everything. Cashes in the briefcase. 1, 2, 3. Just like his father, he had that title for a few seconds in his hand. It's now taken away. Cody Rhodes was your champion, and now no longer your champion. And that is WrestleMania. Lights go out. How about that, folks? If you're able to follow that, that was probably all over the place, but hey, anything can and will happen in the WWE. I hope all is well. Please enjoy WrestleMania. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Thomas Sports Show. Subscribe to my podcast, Clean Pin. I hope all is well. Adios, amigos. That's the end of our stream, folks.